So at this point here, you've got no publisher, or just a thought in your mind, okay?
Yes.
So you've got this book at the moment, okay? How long have you thought about the book?
About 2 years.
Okay, okay. So at this stage here, it's a dream. So have you got an idea in terms of how you're going to pitch the book, or?
Once it's written, yeah, pretty much. I was thinking about a couple of things. Obviously, contacting different publishers.
Okay.
I've been sort of looking at all the different publishers of my favourite authors, so to see if there's a theme of sort of a kind of publisher that does the kind of books that I like.
Okay.
I was thinking of posting, like sort of creating my own website for it, and posting sort of a small part of the introduction to sort of give people a teaser to sort of spark their interest and get a generation of interest in the book that can then go towards publishers. So if there is an interest.
So you've already done some of this process as it is. You've already sort of, whether you've done it formally or informally, you've already done the process. I'm going to take you through the process, and I'm going to take you through the process, the stages of each process. I want you to think as well that the process of taking Gav through can be improvised with whoever you're working with. If you're with a team of salespeople or whoever you're working with, you don't just have to sit down with them and go through this process. You can open it up to whatever you want to do. If you're working with creative people in any area, then you can do one of two things. You can find who is who within the team, and you can open up a discussion and have a meeting when you throw the idea out there. Alternatively, you can get them all together and put them in environments that are conducive to these areas to come up with the ideas of how they're going to go forward with the plan, which is key. I want you to just sit back, just relax and go into your creative mode. Okay, when you're being really creative, I'll count back from 3 to 1. As I count back, you're going to become more and more relaxed. I want you to go into creative mode. Okay, so using the imagination of this book. Okay, the title of the book, colour, what it's about, the intended audience, how many books you want to sell, is it going to be global, available on all leading retailers. Okay, with a dream, and just let your imagination run wild. Just really let yourself go and really dream big, think big, as big as you like. Even to the point where you might see yourself in an airport one day and you see your booking in W.H. Smith, or wherever you'd like to see it. You go shopping in Tesco and you see it there in the corner somewhere. Okay. I'm just going to bring you back to the here and now in your own time. So let's gradually count back. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, I was enjoying it there. It was a good place. Why come back? Okay, what was the dream like? What was the actual?
A bit of both. From the words you were saying, at first I could actually see myself in sort of the world I'd created.
Yeah.
In the book itself and what the world itself looked like that sort of the story revolves in. But then I started to sort of see beyond that to the book sales and making a movie and
Look at Stephen King. Look at Stephen King. You do know that at one point Stephen King was going to give up. He actually gave up on. He couldn't get his book published anyway, so he got his manuscript, threw it in the bin, and his wife picked it up out of the bin. She had the sense to pick it up out of the bin, and apparently she'd handed it into a producer, and that was Kerry, his first film, and thereafter, so the story goes. So many great films.
One of my favourite authors. My school teacher told her she didn't answer nothing because she was dyslexic.
Oh, yeah.
She's written about 12 books.
Unbelievable.
Really well said.
Fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to get into realist mode. So I'm going to really relax. Just close your eyes again, and I want you to think of the feasibility. Okay, whether you've got the resources, the time, the people to provide the input, just the scale of the scope you want to take this book, take it global into a movie. I want you to think of the reality of being able to produce a book of this magnitude and scale. Could be publishers, could be sales would drive it forward, or the resources you've got and various contacts you can get in touch with. Is there a demand for that in the market today? Just the realism, time as well, it takes to write a book as well. Okay, and now I just want you guys to come back in the here and now, having your own time. Okay, how does it feel to go into the realist mode?
Not as fun as the dream.
Yeah. Damn, what I realised.
Yeah, I felt more responsibility
Yeah.
about it. Thinking about sort of contact publishers, the fact that we need an agent, allocating time to it while I'm working, because I need to work while I write.
Yeah.
And then once it's written, I probably need to give up work in order to push the book.
Yes.
And to do signings and travel around to sort of push the sales force.
Yeah.
So it's that sort of boundary between doing the majority of the work while I'm working and then give up to make it successful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think probably one of the bigger things is getting an agent as well, but that'd be, again, towards the end.
Okay.
So you've got something to sort of give to your agent to get signed.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to get you to go into critique, so to really relax, just close your eyes. And we also break state in between different areas. So break state, think forward and backwards. So just going to critique. At this stage, what do you find potential obstacles and difficulties you're going to have putting this book together and releasing this book? Look at weak points of the plan you may have in place already and the possibility of failure. Okay, let's say you spent all this time writing this book, you thought it was wonderful, great, and you approached hundreds of literary agencies, publishers, and they all said no, there's no market for it at this point. So think of how you'll feel as a result of putting all the hours in and the difficulties in writing, and also the difficulties in book sales. We're a really tough market. There's a lot of books that come out all the time, and there's very few that go on and sell well, especially in the market that we live in today with all the internet and everything else. Okay. And then gradually we go back to the here and now, in your own time, mindfulness. What does it feel like to go into critique? Not from wanting to shoot me.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be challenging. It's the time constraints of working and then writing it. Probably the bigger part of it is getting signed up with not only an agency but with publishers. I think that'd probably be the hardest bit of getting their buy-in, because there's a lot of books out there. It's a popular marketplace for books. There's a lot of competition. Much as I'm trying to give it a unique edge, is that what's going to drive the customers? I don't really know until you try it. Sales there's only so much you can do to account for sales, like doing book signing and things like that. But beyond that, it's out of your hands really. It's down to the book's popularity and those damn pirators.
Yeah.
You'd never catch me pirating anything.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to get you to imagine putting all everything that you've learned and picked up through this process and putting it into like a melting pot. Imagine we'll go back to Dreamer again. So I want you to close your eyes again, Gavin. Really relax, and I want you to just take everything that you've learned from your dream state, your real estate, your critique, and imagine feeding into your mind like a computer. Just imagine your mind being this computer system. And you can feed all of it into your mind. Okay? You just process it. Just take a bit of time to process all these thoughts. Okay? So, when you went in real estate, into the real state of mind, what you thought, okay? Your thoughts in critique, and I want them to just circulate in your mind, and I want you to process that and think about it. So you go into realist and think about the things that you came up with, your time, and having to have that work-life balance, and when you could write the book. We're going into critique as well, where you mentioned that it is a difficult industry. How can you make it unique if it fails? All the time you've put into it and everything else. And with that in mind, I want you to go back into your dream state and just visualize again fulfilling all these logistical areas and overcoming all these obstacles, and then launching your book through a process, through a plan. Okay? And I want you to start thinking about the vision and the first stage of implementing this vision into a plan. So you're starting now with the end in mind, and you've got all the resources you need to come through all these obstacles and logistics, and I want you to think about your first, second and third step, so moving things forward to achieving and actualizing your dream. Okay, and having done that, I just want you to gradually come back in the here and now, in your own time, in your own pace. Okay. Okay. Yeah, definitely. And then there was light. Okay. How do you feel, Gav, now? How do you feel having processed all that?
It wasn't as fun in the dream state that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel more realistic about it. It still feels like it can be done.
Yeah.
The story's still there. I feel like I know the story, and
yeah.
I feel like I've got the resources in myself to produce that. I feel a bit more, for want of a better word, probably responsibility around it now that I know it's not just about having fun and writing a book. It's not like the plan in itself was forming more while I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
As in bringing stages forward, like contact, rather than write the book and then contacting people. It was, as I was thinking of it, I was thinking, after a couple of chapters, I'll be sending a couple of chapters through to publishers, things like that, to get them interested before it's even completed. Otherwise, you got to go through all that process at the end. Yeah. Yeah. It was more the structure of it and thinking about actually sitting down and getting started and
so
just getting into it.
If you had a first and second step that you would take towards actualising your dream, what would it be?
I think it would be setting myself deadlines that I know I've laxed with. I've not set any, and therefore been very easy about doing it, but I would give myself deadlines to do certain aspects of it.
Yeah.
And I think the other would be to start more actively researching agents and publishers. So I know who my favourite publisher is, but I'd start sort of trying to open dialogue with them, and especially with agents, because it's the agents that do all the link-up work for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's the bit that I don't know enough about at all, and I need to, because that would be the first step I need to take and publish.
Definitely. So we will take the feedback from Gav there, and we can take steps forward into implementing the plan. So whether we would follow that with a goal setting session or putting a more solid plan together would depend on us, really, depend on obviously Gav, how he would be inclined in that situation. But we move things forward from a dream to actualising that dream. And it is an important process to go through, because the thing is, we make it possible. Okay, and you'll find that various people fit into various categories in various contexts of their life, and you'll find that dreamers and realists and critics